Any expectations for Fallout Season 2? It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. Again, I made a video on it with my thoughts. It wasn't really a fully clickbait title. Like, I think, listen, it has potential to be decent, but it also has potential to kind of fucking ruin anything that New Vegas had going for it in a sense, right? Like, again, I don't have a problem with the show. That's the issue with it, right? Like, I think the show is actually decent. It's just like, I don't like the fact that the show and the games are now canon, right? Because I think that's gonna fuck up a lot of shit for the games going forward. Like, even the way that they've done ghouls in the last few years has kind of triggered me, because ghouls actually used to make sense and now they just don't make any sense. I expect same that of the first one. I'm not gonna watch it. Like, I'll watch it still. The fact that it may be a decent show is gonna be taken away from the fact that the Fallout lore is just annihilated. You know what I'm saying? Finally, we get to find out what the ending of New Vegas is canon. Yeah, see, and that's the thing, right? Because the ending of New Vegas canon, I kind of always assumed would be either an NCR or a house victory, right? But like, even if it's an NCR victory, that just kind of means that like the NCR probably don't really control it to that extent anymore because they're just neutered now, right? And if it was a house victory, it's kind of like, well, based upon the leaks that we've seen so far, the strip gets fucking ruined at some point or another, right? Now that might be a complete conjecture, right? Now, I'm sorry if that's a spoiler, right? But just based on some of the leaks, right? It's kind of like, are they just retconning like all of New Vegas? You know what I'm saying? Are they just trying to like get rid of like any canon endings so that they, you know, Bethesda can just wipe the slate clean in a sense? Because that's the thing, you got to remember, right? Like, this is an Obsidian game. This isn't a Bethesda game. Bethesda obviously, I guess, funded it in a sense, had a lot of like choices to do with it. But like, at the end of the day, like, they didn't make this shit, so they're kind of like, I don't know, to me it's just kind of like they're just trying to wipe it and fucking start again, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I have an issue with, I think, because like even in like season 1, right, with the NCR being detonated, right, I don't know, they were a pretty major player in the West, and now they just don't necessarily mean much. At least from like, and that's the thing, they didn't really specify. Do they not mean much? Is the NCR still a powerhouse? Because with Shady Sands being annihilated, right? Shady Sands is like their main source of government. It's their head of military. It's their industrial homeland in a sense, right? Now, it is only one city, but that's all their politicians, everything keeping them together in one spot. So the fact that just a literal nuke goes off and now it's gone, it's like really, it's rough. And like, that's the thing. I have no problem with Bethesda doing their thing on the East Coast, right? But they're actively fucking with West Coast lore, you know? You over here from East Side fucking with West Side, like, that's literally what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. They can do their thing on the East Coast. They can make it as trash as they want to over time. I got no problem with that, right?